Welcome in to Payoff Pitch, Action Network's Major League Baseball betting podcast. We are presented by BetMGM. Brendan Glasheen joined this evening by Colin Whitchurch and Mike Iannello. We are talking to you on Monday night, July 1st, getting you set for Tuesday, July 2nd. Best bets in Major League Baseball. Let's not waste any time. We will dive right in. It's a full slate. Maybe a little rant at the end of the show from Mr. Whitchurch because he's a special someone joining us, but there's a special someone on the mound on Tuesday's slate that we have to get to. So, Colin, why don't we start with best bets? What do you got?
Yeah. First of all, it's great being back here talking to you, Brendan Glasheen. It's been a while. Mike Iannello, one of my favorite people at Action. I cannot wait to start listening to the Group of Five Deep Dive on BBOC coming up next month. One of my favorite podcasts on the network. So just had to get that out of the way before I jump into my best bet, which is the over in Dodgers Diamondbacks. I believe at the time of recording it is 8.5. I like that in the 8.5, 9 range. It is a fade of Bobby Miller more than anything else. Bright lights Bobby Miller. I know, sad face there. We all had such high hopes for him coming into the season, but something just isn't right with Bobby Miller. You look at his numbers, you look at his peripherals, his fastball velocity is totally fine. Everything else is wrong. He just came back from injury recently. I don't think he's 100% healthy. I was actually in attendance for his start in Chicago against my absolutely terrible White Sox last week, and he looked bad even against them. So normally in that case, I'd be looking to bet the Diamondbacks, but I have no faith in Ryan Nelson in this start either against a prolific and scary Dodgers offense. I think this total is way too low considering Miller's struggles, considering the Dodgers offense against Nelson. So yeah, I'm looking at the over here, 8.5. I'd probably bet that to 9. If it hit 9.5, I'd probably stay away.
All right. Very good. Yeah, I mean, 2 bad starts in a row against the Rockies and the White Sox. And I'm sorry, Colin, I still get a little bit of I grin slightly when you mention my terrible White Sox. Like, just the way you say it, the dismay in your voice, it still hits home.
Hey, I had their famous campfire milkshake last week, though. I went there specifically to see Ohtani. He hit a leadoff home run. I drank a campfire milkshake. It was $5 beer and $5 hot dog night. What could be better?
You got everything you needed out of that, right?
Yes, I did.
That's good, except the White Sox being any good. So, Mike Iannello, and that's kind of a revenge series for the Diamondbacks, for the Dodgers, really, right? Diamondbacks knocked them out last year. Mike Iannello, best bet for Tuesday. What do you got?
First, Colin, speaking of the White Sox, happy Chris Flexen Day, my sweet baby boy, Chris Flexen.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going with the Pirates, minus 122 against the Cardinals. I know, listeners of this podcast know it seems like a lot of our action staff tends to fade Mitch Keller, but I'm still pretty high on him. I think he's a great number 3 for this Pirates staff behind Skeens and Jones. So I've kind of always been bullish on Keller. He's got a 3.2 ERA this season, 3.18 expected ERA. It's still in the top half of the league. It's not like he's this terrible pitcher. He doesn't really do anything at an elite level, but I think he does everything pretty well. He has solid command. He does a solid job limiting hard contact. He's been pitching well lately. In his last 7 starts, he's 5-1 with a 2.28 ERA. His ERA is also more than a 1.5 lower at home this season, so I love him being at PNC Park, the most beautiful ballpark in all of baseball. In his last 3 home starts, he's allowed just 1 run over 20 innings, so pitching really well in the Berg. And Pirates are playing pretty good baseball right now. They're 14-12 in June, which is that's good for the Pirates. Brian Reynolds has been one of the hottest hitters in the league. I think his streak did finally come to an end last night. I believe it ended at 28 game hitting streak. But he's still on fire. Rowdy Tellez has picked things up. Surprisingly, I don't know how he was terrible to start the year. He's actually been pretty good over the last month. Nick Gonzalez has played well. McCutchen has 11 home runs already this year. O'Neal Cruz is inconsistent, but he's always dangerous. And then Kyle Gibson is just a player I always love to bet against. He has a 3.7 ERA, but he's due for big time negative regression. He's got a 4.84 expected ERA, that's more in line with his career numbers, what we expect from Gibson. He's bottom 30% walk rate, barrel rate, expected batting average, doesn't strike guys out. So he's a guy I think is going to have, negative regression. We've already started to see it. He's allowed at least 3 runs in 3 of his last 4 starts. And then the Cardinals offense has been pretty disappointing all year. So I think these offenses aren't that far apart. The Cardinals are 23rd in weighted on base average. Pittsburgh's 27th. So these offenses are not that far apart. I like Pittsburgh's actually scored more runs than them this year, and I like Keller a lot more than Gibson. So I'll take the Pirates at home here.
All right. Excellent. Let's move on to our Fade the Public segment. Hayden Birdsong. What a name, first and foremost. I mean, this guy's on the mound tomorrow for the Giants. They are plus 150-ish underdogs visiting the Atlanta Braves. They send Ronaldo Lopez to the mound. Braves priced around minus 180, minus 185 on the money line. Public likes the Braves against Mr. Birdsong. 93% of the bets, 79% of the cash on Atlanta over the San Francisco Giants. Hayden Birdsong. Colin, what do we have to know about this guy? Is there any way you could back the Giants in this spot?
It really is just perfect harmony that I get to be in this podcast today and talk about Hayden Birdsong, the pride of my alma mater, Eastern Illinois University. He's actually he's only 20.3 wins above replacement away from catching Marty Patton. That's namesake of Marty's, the famous bar in Charleston, Illinois, for the most valuable EIU pitcher in history, and 28.9 WAR away from catching Kevin Seitzer for most valuable player in EIU history. Fun fact, Kevin Seitzer, the Braves hitting coach, who Hayden Birdsong is going to be pitching against on Tuesday night. He's from beautiful
Second career
Mattoon.
start?
Yeah, he's from beautiful Mattoon, Illinois, home of the original Burger King at EIU. We usually only talk about EIU with Tony Romo, Jimmy Garoppolo, Sean Payton. We're a football school, but now we get some
Dino
baseball
Babers.
love here. What's that?
Dino Babers.
Dino Babers, yeah, Syracuse. Anyway, that was just my long preamble to say I am staying the hell away from this game. I'm really, really impressed with Ronaldo Lopez this year. I don't want to bet against him. Hayden Birdsong's only pitching because the Giants' rotation is absolutely decimated by injuries right now. I think Logan Webb and Jordan Hicks are about their only healthy starters from the beginning of the season right now. So I'm not looking to bet against Ronaldo, but I'm very stoked to see my fellow EIU alumnus getting another start, and with just an incredible name, Hayden Birdsong. I really hope this is not the last time we're talking about Hayden Birdsong on this podcast.
I hope you're right. How about you, Ianello? As Colin mentioned, Lopez has pitched well this year, 6-2, 1.7 ERA. How does he match up here? He's got 81 strikeouts and 79 of the third innings pitched.
He's got a 1.7 ERA, but he's got a 3.98 expected ERA. So, near in 4. I do think he's been good, but I do think he's not going to keep that up all year. I don't know. I might be talked into it.
Oh.
I'll be honest. I didn't know a ton about Birdsong, so I Googled him, and the first thing that came up was SI.com. San Francisco Giants star prospect draws comparisons to future Hall of Famer. I don't know. Plus 150 sounds pretty good to me for a future Hall of Famer. The exact quote was from Ryan Vogelsong, former Giants pitcher and current minor league pitching coach with the organization. To me, he's a young Justin Verlander. So you're going to give me a young Justin Verlander at plus 150 odds. I maybe talked into it. We saw, I was reading about his first start, and, he didn't do great. He gave up 3 runs, but his fastball was topping out at 98. His changeup looked great. Apparently he switched his grip up in the spring, so he's still kind of adjusting to the changeup. But I don't know. The Braves have just kind of been overrated all season because they're the Braves, but they haven't played like the Braves really all year. So you're still kind of paying that Matt Olson, Austin Riley, that tax for those names that aren't hitting like those names. So I don't know. I'll probably chicken out because that's what I tend to do. But maybe I'm hoping I see Zerillo log a Giant. Zerillo, I feel like is such a better pulse on prospects. So if I see him log a Giants bet, I may tail him because you're getting a future Hall of Famer.
Zarilla's
future MLB Hall of Famer or Eastern Illinois Hall of Famer?
Eastern Illinois Hall.
Come on.
The headline didn't say.
Are we done on the Bird song? I mean, it's a great name. It is fantastic. I hope he makes it just for the names.
I hope they play the bird. Bird is the word. Like every time he gets a strikeout.
Yes.
All right, let's do Underdogs. Moving on from the Bird song to the Underdog song. Colin, who jumps out to you for a dog? A big slate tomorrow.
Yeah, I feel like I'm just going to come on here and pick against all of the favorite pitchers of the Action Network Baseball Slack after betting against Bright Lights Bobby Miller earlier. I am betting against Tariq Skubal and the Tigers against the Twins here tonight. It is not fun to bet against Tariq Skubal, but the Twins are a team to back against a left-handed starting pitcher. Skubal did go 5 shutout against the Twins back in early April. That's a much different looking Twins team than what we're seeing here today. And the Twins, like I said, much better offense against left-handed pitching. 125 weighted runs created plus, third overall in Major League Baseball. That's 19 points higher than they hit against righties. DRC plus, Baseball Prospectus stat, has them 7 points better against lefties than righties, so it's pretty much consistent across the board there. And it's also a bet against the Tigers' offense, and the Tigers are abysmal offensively. And Simeon Woods Richardson, pretty intriguing. I've liked what I've seen from him in Minnesota. He's helped stabilize the back end of that rotation. He's not a huge bat misser, but the peripherals are solid against his 3.41 ERA. The one concern with Woods Richardson right now is that he does allow a lot of fly balls. I think his ground ball rate is in the 30s, 30% range, 30 to 40% range. Not a huge concern, though, against the Detroit offense that's bottom half of the league in ISO against right-handed pitching. You know, the Tigers have struggled to give Skubal run support all year. Skubal's racking up these high strikeout totals. He's insanely good. I could see him, man, with how bad the Tigers have been this year, if Skubal's a trade candidate come the end of July, the Tigers could get an absolute haul for him. Unfortunately, they're just not hitting well enough to back him right now. If this turns into a bullpen game, Woods, Richardson, and Skubal leaves with it a one-run game, I'm more than confident in backing Minnesota's bullpen against Detroit's offense compared to Detroit's bullpen against Minnesota's offense. Minnesota has the 11th best bullpen in the majors. Tigers are significantly worse than that. So the Twins are a little bit in the plus money side at the time we're recording this, and I would bet them right down to about minus 110 against the Tigers and Skubal on Tuesday night.
Okay, very good. Mike Iannello, is your underdog fading a particular pitcher?
Yep, Brady Singer, just another guy I love betting against. He's been extremely lucky this season. 3.12 ERA, but a 4.68 expected ERA. He's allowed a barrel rate of nearly 10%. Opponents have a 339 weighted on base average against him. He doesn't miss bats, and you know, he does generate a really good ground ball rate, so that's how he's been able to do this, is he gives up a hit and then a double play. But his BABIP is just not sustainable. I don't care how good he is. You look at it, you know, previous years, it's never been close to what he has doing this year. And then Zach Little hasn't been great this season for the Rays, but he has elite command, and he really just needs to do a better job of keeping the ball in the ballpark. So as long as he's not giving up home runs, and then I know, you know, Zerillo's been saying for weeks, I feel like, to start buying into the Rays. He's been hyping the jump on the Tampa Bay train, buying low.
Come on,
So,
baby.
and you look, you know, over the last 2 weeks, Tampa Bay is 7th in WRC plus. The Royals have dropped down to 25th. They were hot at the plate early this year, but recently it's basically just been the Bobby Witt show, and that's really it. Even on the season, you know, Tampa Bay is 14th in the league against right-handed pitchers. The Royals ranked 22nd. So Tampa Bay has the better offense in this matchup, and assuming the Brady Singer regression does come, that kind of makes these pitchers a wash. You look at their expected ERAs, Singer's is actually worse. So I think that, you know, yeah, sure, Singer's been better, but I don't think the pitchers are that big of a difference apart. I like Tampa Bay's offense. We all know the Royals have the worst bullpen in the league. So give me the Rays here as a small underdog against Kansas City. I think they're plus 105, 106 at the time of recording.
I think you're getting a slight plus money. If you look around, plus 102 I'm seeing on the Rays. So final bets. Dallas Keuchel is pitching tomorrow for the Brewers. He got traded from the Mariners. So I looked at 6 articles before we started recording just to make sure I wasn't reading a typo. They really only had to trade $1 to get him? $1. That's not a joke.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm asking. It was only $1?
I don't know. Go ahead, Mike.
The Mariners should have paid them to take him.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'm reading from an AP article now. The Brewers are hoping to get the 2015 AL Cy Young Award winner. He can provide a boost, injury-riddled pitching staff, blah, blah, blah. They sent cash to Seattle. Sent cash to the Seattle Mariners on Tuesday to acquire Keuchel, who had spent all of this season in the minors. The price was $1. Wow.
They should have gone to the vending machine, got a pack of M&Ms, would have saved themselves a lot of trouble.
Dallas Keuchel's on the mound tomorrow against the Rockies. And the Rockies are still dogs. The total's 11.5. It's at Coors Field. Colin, take it away. What's the Dallas Keuchel?
Yeah,
pick?
I actually have already bet the Rockies money line just out of principle. I should have probably made them my underdog pick of the day, but it is pure bliss that I'm getting a Dallas Keuchel day here because Brendan, as you well know, we had a very famous bet win against Dallas Keuchel in his last outing as a member of the Texas Rangers. We were fading him.
That was 2 years ago.
Two years ago, we were fading him every single start. Yeah, it was after he got cut loose by my terrible Chicago White Sox. he latched on to Texas, was completely terrible. Brendan was going to Fenway that night to watch his Red Sox face Dallas Keuchel and the Texas Rangers, and we gave out on this podcast and bet in every which way against Dallas Keuchel.
If I remember correctly, briefly, just quickly, I think it was Keuchel may have been okay the first inning or two, and then the Red Sox exploded. Because
it was like 7 runs in the third inning. We had
Something
every
like
single alt. We had every single alt team total over for the game for the first 5 innings. We had Red Sox, spreads. It was everything. And you know what? As was pointed out earlier today, this is kind of a unideal scenario because the total's already going to be juiced. While he's pitching here at Coors Field. He's also pitching against a really, really bad Rockies team. But I have reason to fade him again. I mean, first of all, he's Dallas Keuchel, arguably the worst pitcher to take the mound for a Major League Baseball team in the year 2024. You want to have an argument for betting the Rockies, for betting them every which way again on Tuesday night. I can make one. The Rockies are better against lefties. They're better at home. Their weighted runs created plus against lefties is actually 89 against lefties. So only 11% worse than league average. Whereas against right-handed, they're 23% below league average. Also, this team has a top 10 ISO against lefties this year, at 162. Their isolated slugging against left-handed pitching is better than the Astros, better than the Red Sox, better than the Yankees, better than the Rangers, better than the Padres. This team slugs. If the weather conditions are good in Denver tomorrow night and the Rockies can get some loft in the ball against Keuchel, a ground ball pitcher, granted, but not the pitcher he once was, we can look at these alt totals. Rockies team total over, Rockies first 5 team total over, some alternate team totals. You can also look at Keuchel props, earned runs allowed, outs under. I'm going to be looking at all of these. Obviously, at the time we're recording, all of these props are not out yet. But I'm telling you, look for them. If the numbers look good, hop on it. We're not going to have many more opportunities to fade Dallas Keuchel in his career. I said that 2 years ago, though, and we're still out there able to fade him in the year of our Lord 2024. We're going to try it again tomorrow night, and God bless the Milwaukee Brewers for bringing him in and giving us this opportunity.
36 years old. So he has made one start, went 4 innings, allowed 2 home runs. Mentioned how he's a ground ball guy. Didn't get many of those. Mostly fly balls that left the ballpark. 5
in
ground ball
Milwaukee, right?
No, against Texas.
In Texas?
No, in Milwaukee.
Yeah, okay, in Milwaukee, yeah.
Yes. 5 runs, 2 homers, a walk, 4 strikeouts, 5 ground ball outs, 11 fly ball outs for Keuchel. So second start in a Brewers uniform Tuesday night. The second, I will be watching that just for the. I hope he only lasts 2 innings. I will put that on tomorrow night.
That's the best part about these. I have a few to touch on that too. But I have a few. Like the best part about these Keuchel starts is they're like a choose your own adventure. Where like Colin said, the Rockies aren't very good, so betting the Rockies money line might scare you away. Colin's in it. That's fine. Go for the. You can do a team total. You could do a earned run prop. You could do strikeouts under, outs under. You can find 2.5 first 5 everywhere. That's my favorite bet. I don't really care what the juice is on that. And then.
And may I add, I mean, this might not matter that much because he's probably still not going to go deep in the game, but the Brewers do play Monday night. So it's not like they have a rested bullpen where they can get him out of there, right? They played it. There's only 3 games Monday, and they're one of them. The Brewers are playing the Rockies.
And Colin mentioned how the Rockies are better against lefties. And a big reason for that is because Ryan McMahon, who's probably their best hitter, is left-handed, but he has reverse splits. He's kind of like a Kyle Schwarber, where he's much better against lefties. He's hitting .323 with a .938 OPS against lefties. Brendan Rodgers is hitting .345 with a .950 OPS against lefties. He's already taken Keuchel deep in his career. He's 3 for 7 with a double and a home run against Keuchel already. So Ryan McMahon and Brandon Rodgers are two guys I'm going to be targeting for player props. The problem with Coors Field is their hits, runs, RBI is probably going to be 2.5, especially with Keuchel on the mound. It'll probably be like 2.5 minus 130. But if you can get a 1.5 bases at like a reasonable juice, I like that. And those are two guys if you want to do like a home run. I know Dinger Tuesday, McMahon and Rodgers are two guys I'd be looking for a Dinger Tuesday pick.
Okay, very good. Are we good? You good, Mike, with everything else?
Yep.
All right. I didn't realize you were going to just hit the Rockies Brewers game too. That's fantastic. All right, gents. Well, Colin, thanks for helping out. We know it's a busy time, and you were willing to come on, so thank you.
Love to be here. I'll come back anytime. Our producer David asks me to, except for when I'm not able to, like I wasn't last night.
And Mike, you too, but you're part of the rotation these days.
Yeah.
So.
Coming to regular now.
Yeah, exactly. All right, very good. That's it. Don't forget to download the free awarding just turned it into one word. Free award-winning Action Network app. Leave us a 5-star rating and/or review. We appreciate both. Wherever you listen to the podcast, we'll do some giveaways when the time fits. And check us out on YouTube as well. If you're watching us there, subscribe to our channel. For Colin Whitchurch, Mike Iannello, Brendan Glasheen, thanks for tuning in to Tuesday, July 2nd, Best Bets. Here on Payoff Pitch, MLB, Action Network's MLB betting podcast. We are presented by BetMGM. Best of luck. Fade Keuchel. See you later.